Hey Virgo, it's Tarot by Tess. This is your 17 reading. On the bottom of the primary, we have the Devil reversed. This is telling me wanting to get out of a toxic situation. Could also be like a relationship or like an addiction. Something of that nature, something that's not healthy. Okay. And some of you have recently got out of it. Okay. And then we have the Nine of Cups. This is your wish. So this lets me know that you really, really, really want to get out. That's your goal. And if you've been out, then you got your wish. But be very careful, what you wish for, especially if you are seeking something that's not good for you. All right, your situation was Three of Cups. So I see rejoining in society, no longer being isolated. And also I see like some kind of a marriage, possible infidelity for some people. Crossing it is the Eight of Swords. All right, so with Eight of Swords, I see you may be, you're bound. You feel like a victim, and you're mistrusting. You may think, oh, I'm stuck with like the party person, whoever that might be. I'm stuck with somebody who wants to date around. Okay. And so it could be a marriage, because we do have the Four of Wands in here, and some Two of Cups. Okay. And so you feel trapped. You feel like you can't express yourself. That you may be surrounded by people, but you're all alone. And for some of you, you've got out of a bad situation and you're rejoining society. But usually when something's crossing you, it's like crossing you. It's not necessarily good, okay? And if you're bound, this is saying you need to release something or be released. It could be somebody's acting treacherously, and so somebody's been unfaithful. It could be you, okay? Just depends on who this is about. And I'm seeing that somebody's possibly commitment phobic. Like, you have this relationship, somebody wants commitment, but you're afraid of it. Or you want a relationship and somebody else is afraid. Or you're afraid if you get into this, that this person will tie you down. And some of you just got out of a bad situation and you're celebrating. So to clarify, I got Six of Cups. So, this could be talking about a bad childhood. You're like coming out of that. You're coming out of that kind of toxic situation that's been bothering you for a while, and you're coming out. And perhaps, because this talks about like being too innocent and too trusting, perhaps you were too trusting with this person, to being a victim of somebody's treachery, like they were unfaithful to you. And sometimes Eight of Swords talks about accidents. So perhaps you discovered somebody's infidelity and they became a little bit more violent. Also, I could see this for a lot of you actually. You're married, okay, or somebody from the past comes back and they're married. Either way, I think somebody's involved with somebody, and then here comes somebody from the past. Okay. And you're like, well, crap, I'm stuck in this relationship. So I'm pretty sure it must be you that's married, but it could be others. And so now you have this third party. Also, some of you are just suffering from something from childhood, and so it's like a third party in your relationships. Let's see, Six of Cups and Three of Cups are unions, okay, or reunions, I'm sorry. Somebody you've been with before. And I can also just see some past memories that are really confusing for you when this person comes back. Because it looks as if this relationship wasn't good, okay, in the past. And then they come back, and perhaps you wanted them back, and you got your wish, but you have to be careful what you wish for. But you feel trapped somehow. Like you're not able to say what you want to say. Or you just want somebody from the past, and you feel like you can't tell them for some reason. All right, what led to your situation? Two cards came out when I pulled. I didn't realize it. It was the Hierophant and the World reversed. So Hierophant talks about marriage. World means something hasn't quite ended yet. So if somebody came back from the past and like, hey, I want to be with you, but I'm just separated. I'm not divorced. That might be something that you're experiencing. I might see somebody who's not quite ready to get married yet, if they're single. Okay, and so that's something you're dealing with. You feel bound by that. It could be a Taurus. It could also be Capricorn. You might be married to a Taurus and then Capricorn comes along. Could also be a Pisces. I see Pisces in here. But when I see the Devil and the Hierophant, I see corruption. Something to excess. Like somebody doesn't have a moral code. This could be a person that came and they kind of turned your world upside down. That's what led to this situation where you feel trapped, like you can't speak your say. Somebody's very powerful as well. And when you have like these two people here, it's like your identity's being taken in, and you're kind of losing your identity a little bit. I don't know, somebody be a bank official. I'm not sure why I'm seeing that, but here we have the Trinity with the 3 crosses. So we have faith, hope, and love. So again, we have that 3. There's like a third party situation going on. And I mean, it's not very happy. So I think you have discovered this. And I think you feel like you don't have any control. Like if you thought you were going to have a new beginning with somebody, or maybe you just got married or you just joined with somebody, and then it's kind of just a huge disappointment. It wasn't what you thought it was going to be. It's toxic, like this person be the devil and you want to get out. And some of you have just graduated, okay? And then you realize, okay, I had this big celebration and like I'm trying to graduate, but I didn't make it. And then your current situation is you feel bound because you haven't graduated. You want to, but you just haven't yet. Something from the past, there's something you didn't get that's keeping you from graduating or moving on. I also see some distortion. It could be that, you were really happy when you graduated, for instance, or you were really happy in this marriage and you wish you could have just frozen it in time. Okay, like you don't want it to change. But it did, and not for the good. If this is a person coming back from the past, perhaps you reunite and it's like you were frozen in time, nothing has changed. That could definitely be it. Perhaps you get along just like you're married. You see eye to eye. It's like you're frozen in time. Everything is good for some of you. Hopefully that's the case. I like good news. Perhaps you missed the opportunity with this person before to join with them or to get married, and now they've come back. And so it's like you got your wish. But it looks like this previous relationship had been toxic, or the one you're in now is toxic, and the previous relationship coming in is like saving you. Could possibly be a Scorpio, because we have 8 of Swords twice. And if you did have like a long-held dream about graduating, about getting married, it's as if like this long-held dream just kind of lost appeal, and you were in isolation. Okay, perhaps you were in isolation in a bad marriage. And I think about a bad marriage or a bad relationship because we have 7 of Swords, 4 of Swords. So this is a deception, the need to take your power back, and somebody who's just very sneaky. Somebody who, they want to seduce you and kind of disappear. They're not communicating honestly. And you could also be afraid that this is what's going to happen. And so somebody was cut off emotionally. If you found out somebody had cheated, you cut them off. Okay, if you were the one who cheated, they cut you off. But you're feeling like you're trapped in your marriage. Like you went from 7 of Swords because of this unfaithfulness, this sneaky behavior of being caught, and you just need to break away and be single because it's put you at your limit. You're fed up. Like this marriage was not what you were wanting, or this relationship. But it looks like somebody is coming back from the past. And you need to recover from this deception. And that 7 of Swords led to your 8 of Swords. I think you actually do get out and you rejoin society. You were isolated in your marriage and you get out. You rejoin society. And when there's an isolation in a relationship, it's usually because it's so controlling and abusive, which would be like the devil. And the devil in reverse shows that it's you're getting out of it. For those of you who are not in a relationship now, I see that this is a past one and it's coming back, because sometimes the devil reverse talks about somebody coming back for you. But it's like wanting what's bad for you, wanting something toxic. All right, let's look at your past. We had King of Wands reversed. This is a lack of a transformation. This is a person who isn't taking the steps they need to take to, to transform. It seems as if this transformation that you were hoping for, it didn't happen. Like it just never came to fruition. And what was it you were hoping for? Well, you were hoping for Ace of Wands, which is passion started. That's what you were hoping for. And he is actually looking away from that. So this person in your past wasn't interested in you, okay, and starting passion with you, okay. They're interested in starting passion with somebody else. Also, this may just be somebody who's from the past, and you have a passion that started for them. Because sometimes when I see this, I see affair. So somebody's having an affair somewhere. Let's go to, well, just going back to your situation for the graduation part and feeling trapped. I see the end of schooling too, or just the end of some kind of a contract. So marriage, college, something of that nature. And it could be just because you graduated. But you may feel trapped, like you can't go out anywhere into the world. Maybe because of a bad childhood, you just have some low self-esteem. But that's just you, yourself, that's keeping you back. Nobody else is in that case. What crowns the whole reading is the Fool reversed. So trying to escape, perhaps having been overly optimistic at some point. And then again, we have low self-esteem. And you see that there's this cycle. And wanting to return where you came from, wanting to go back to the Six of Cups. So if somebody's not coming back for you with Six of Cups, which I think it is, then it's you wanting to return to a more childlike time. And here we have conformity and conformity. You want that commitment, that marriage, but you're not getting it. And you just wish you could go back to the good old days where everything was simple. And I do see being surprised by something. So with that Seven of Swords, I could definitely see maybe you were surprised having been caught having an affair. You were surprised that this person came back. Or you surprised somebody while they were having an affair. And you feel like there's no new beginning. Like you don't want to start over. You want it to be over. And then you can have your new beginning after this other thing is over. Because you feel like it's foolish to stay. Some of you, for graduation purposes, when you graduate, you get this job at an organization. You feel like somebody's sneaky and they have all this stuff, they take all this power, and you feel powerless and you need to take your power back. So you're kind of taking a time out and meditating. And you feel like a fool. Like with not being able to speak or express yourself, you feel like, wow, everybody here knows so much, and I feel stupid, I better not even open my mouth. That might be something for you guys. Because you get your wish of possibly graduating and get this great job, but then you feel inadequate. And you're really valuing the past, your origins, where you came from. You really want to go back. It could be like a relationship or a marriage or college or something has kept you from returning by traveling, okay? So this is wanting to return where you came from, but you just can't right now. Like the journey's delayed. Some of you, funnily enough, you want to be a missionary and you're just not able to do that at this time. But I see the refusal to take a scary step, just like in the past. Like you're afraid to do something. You may be afraid to get a divorce. You're afraid to speak up for yourself. And you feel trapped again, like there's this lack of freedom. And I think you feel trapped by the situation. For those of you who somebody is coming back, you feel like it's an unordinary love. This person has all the qualities that you like, as like being different. They stand out. And you have no trust in a current relationship. Or if it's somebody coming back and previously you had no trust in them, but now you're starting to see that you can trust them as this new person. Now I will tell you that with the Fool and Devil, okay, that usually talks about disaster ahead, wrong crowd, addiction, bad boy, and with Devil and Three of Cups, and we have Two of Cups reversed, and moon reversed, that can talk about addictions, okay? There's a lot of affair as well, so it could be a sexual addiction of some sort. We also have Nine of Cups, which is like gluttony, like lots and lots of drinking. And moon usually talks about drugs, not necessarily alcohol, but it could. So you'd be coming out of addiction, out of something toxic, and maybe perhaps you fall right back in. But your wish is that you want to get out. Like you have this cycle and you're wanting it to stop. And it's really hit your self-esteem for those of you who you've kind of just spoiled your whole sobriety, perhaps. But some of you are addicted to a bad boy, and that's what this is. But with Devil in full in reverse, I feel a little bit better because it seems like that may be over, okay? It may have been in the past, but it's over now. So you're going to take from this what you will, because there are a few different things I'm seeing. All right. In the future, we have the moon reversed. So this is waiting for things to clear because you're not seeing clearly. Also, the need to face that fear and take that step. This is the shadow self of the devil. So I see like your shadow self may be trying to come back. As far as addiction goes, maybe even infidelity, perhaps you are the one unfaithful. But there's some kind of a secrecy, some kind of a deception. But when it's revealed, it hasn't been revealed yet because the high priestess is not in here, okay? But when it's revealed, it's for the benefit, okay? Some of you may have just been paranoid, having some hallucinations about somebody being unfaithful, and it's as if you're correct, but there's just this unhealthy obsession, this unhealthy relationship. It could be with drugs, alcohol, or a person. And this is ruled by Neptune, which is about surprises and addictions and alcohol. And it's also the Pisces card, so you may be dealing with a Pisces, or you may have Pisces in your chart. And when I see the Pisces, I see like over emotional. So it could be that some kind of being over emotional, some kind of interruption or sorrow is causing you possibly to fall off the bandwagon. And you have the Three of Swords later, and with that I see a very painful relationship. And that'd be the one coming back, or maybe the one that you're in, or the one you were in most recently. Then again, I see with the devil and the moon, I see the wrong crowd. And I think we also had that with the Fool. It's like you may be being drawn back in to something that you're addicted to. What that is for you, only you know. And by God, you guys, I think I've had 4 or 5 signs that have all been drawn back into something. Pisces too. Pisces had some kind of addiction. Okay, so Pisces and Virgo, are you guys, together or something? But there's a few other cards as well that had that. So this must be like the lusty month of me because it's reading. Oh, okay. So we have Uranus and Neptune all in here together. And if somebody's trying to give you advice, like the Hierophant, possibly a Taurus, the Fool in reverse, don't listen to it. Or it could be you're just not taking somebody's advice. And maybe you're not supposed to, Because whoever's feeding you information may be feeding you illusions or lies. And it may be that this dream of success that you've had with the world, it's not, your dream is gone. And you could also feel very anxious socially because remember you were in isolation and you're joining something, and it could be like your social anxiety kicks in from the past that you used to have. But it feels like you're getting back into a situation that was a bad environment for you. It doesn't even have to be a person or drugs. It could be a previous work environment that was hostile. Something not good for you. You feel like you're getting thrown back into it. And that might be what is stirring all this up for you. But there is some kind of deception, some kind of secrecy. It may be more of an illusion than what you want. It could be, a person is possibly wearing a false face, okay, like with the mask. And so you're not really sure how to see them. You feel like they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes, and you just can't trust your intuition right now because you're not sure. Because you have experience and you have intuition and you just don't really know. But clarifying the moon, I have 7 of Pentacles, which is assessing, investigating, discovery, like waiting. Like here, this is a year because we have summer, spring, fall, winter. So you're like assessing everything and making sure that all the elements are there before you do anything. But with the moon, I'm supposed to pull 2 cards. I don't know why I only pulled 1, but why is the moon reversed here, clarified by the 7 of Pentacles? And I just want to let you know that these bigger cards, I don't ever read them in reverse unless they fall out, and that's the way they show. So sometimes this could be 7 Pentacles reverse, could be bad investment, okay, because of some kind of secrecy. You feel like you got into a relationship and it was just a bad investment. You could have gotten into a job, it was a bad investment. I'm seeing lots of swords and cups, so I really feel this is about a relationship. Okay, the Strength card. So you may be involved with a Leo, but I see the need to take control. Use your wisdom, like with the Hierophant, and step up to the plate. Be brave. Take the step. Don't be misled. Like, have some courage. And maybe just have the courage to wait. Because this is very much a lust card, okay? So you need to wait before you jump into this lust with somebody. Like your shadow self, okay? Because you are already contracted with somebody else. I also see that the vision that you have, whatever it is you want, you're going to have to fight for it. But maybe you just have to wait a little while. Perhaps it gets delayed. So, taming the beast with intellect. All right. The next part of your reading are just descriptions, and then we have the outcome. Okay, so the description is you, Queen of Wands. So this is your psychic abilities, also being strong. When I see her, I see strength, okay? This is very much a Leo card with the cat, lions, the sunflowers, because Leo is ruled by the sun, okay? So you have a lot of Leo in your chart. Or you're being strong and overcoming something that has to do with a Leo. Also, Leo's like lots of adoration. So you're seeking that, or maybe if you're having more than one person that you're involved with, you may feel adored in that way, but getting all that attention. But I do see possibly like coming out of something and facing the sun. It could be something comes to light and it kind of restores you. It restores your determination, your passion. And I think you feel very passionate, but you have to exercise patience, just like in your future. So I think you're exercising patience. You're waiting. You're being submissive, actually, very truthful. And you're like, when I'm in a relationship, I can't be trapped, like the 8 of Swords. I can't. And you feel trapped. So when you feel trapped, you don't feel special. And there is possibly another person out there who all this attention makes you feel special. And you possibly don't feel trapped because you have another option, but you feel trapped just because there is another option. It depends who you are, because those are 2 opposing ideas. And just so you know, if I ever give you contradicting information, it's because, not that I'm not noticing it, because I am. It's just that it's meant for different people. And it may just be that you don't realize it's for you until it plays out. Okay. So that's what I'd like to say is like, let it happen, let it play out before you start saying, well, that's not me. This was me 6 years ago. It might come back around, so just wait. But with Queen of Wands, there is some kind of distortion. Maybe your distorted view. You feel trapped. And perhaps you're really not, because we do have the moon in reverse, which talks about illusions. You'd be creating an illusion that everything is bright and sunny when really it's not. It's kind of abusive and toxic like the devil. But you want to get out because you feel trapped. Because this is a person who is very, she's friendly, And she's not aggressive, but she does, she has her assertiveness about her. She can persevere. And so feeling trapped is not good for her. You do not want her to feel like she can't say something. And she does. And we feel that for a while. And with the world, it feels like the journey she was on, that she was taking, wasn't very long before she felt trapped. Something was kind of over before it got started, really. For those of you who are wanting to go back to like childhood, to an innocent time, it's like your plans have been delayed, or you might quite literally want to travel across the world like a missionary or something of that nature, and you feel like you can't. But it doesn't have to be a missionary. It could just be somebody who wants to travel. But as advice, whenever you're defending yourself, this says strive to do it with integrity. Strive to do it with honesty. Because you may very well see something distorted. You may very well be out of touch with reality. So be very careful. Don't become demanding and aggressive. Don't become suspicious. Don't become jealous. Don't become obsessed. So here, it looks like you may have overcome some kind of an obsession or addiction, and I like that. But you're afraid perhaps you might fall back into it, like it's always going to be there. Then we have Three of Cups, which is that third party. It's the celebration, which there could be drunkenness, okay? I do see some drinking in here as far as an addiction. It could be you're drinking to get over a third party that's entered into your relationship. But you're not a shrinking violet, so don't be. You're not the person who can have their blocked expression. You're a truthful person. You're friendly. People can trust you. So make sure that that's how you act, okay? Even if you feel trapped, even if you feel defensive, keep being your best self, because that's how things work out in your favor. And even if things don't work in your favor, you can say, you know what, at least I maintain dignity, my integrity, okay? Because this could be, feeling trapped, and so you're wanting to get out, socialize, get out there and date, and you can't because you have a previous obligation somehow. And it looks like you're ready to take that step. You're ready to come out from isolation. You're ready to come out from something that's been holding you back. And if you notice, I don't know if you did or not, but okay. So in your situation, we had Three of Cups, Eight of Swords, and then as you, in your advice, we had Eight of Swords, Three of Cups. So it's like it was reversed. Yeah, well, it was reversed. Okay, in your current environment, people around you, Nine of Wands reversed. This is defenses are coming down, giving up. But if you are defending something, it's as if you're being stubborn more than you're caring about defending something. Like you're being stubborn about something to be stubborn. Like, I don't really care about this. I'm just letting you know I want my way. And it could be because at some point you were hurt and you felt really vulnerable. Yeah, okay. And whatever's going on with the Strength card, like your character's being built. It could be this person is helping you build your character, but it could just be the situation as well. And with the Fool in reverse, you haven't quite relaxed your fears that you should possibly, because Eight of Swords could be very fearful as well. Okay, so Fool reversed and Nine of Wands reversed, you could just be not afraid. You could be, you've gotten out of this toxic relationship, and so you've rejoined society, you're happy, you're possibly even dating, you date somebody from the past, but not necessarily. And you feel free. You feel safe. You're not afraid anymore. Something's working for you. That's going to be in your current, it could even be really near future, because it isn't near the future position, just the way I have it set up. I think you're no longer looking for an enemy. Like an enemy that's coming for you. Possibly from the past as well. Some of you could have escaped. A Scorpio possibly could have saved you from danger, or saved you from a bad relationship, some kind of an accident, because there is a head injury here, as well as Eight of Swords can mean accidents. And you probably were just always looking over your shoulder, and now something's happened and you're free. It could be you always had that addiction of some sort, and you felt like it was always going to be with you, and now you feel free. On a negative connotation, with the Fool in here, you kind of let your guard down, and you went back into something. I think you may still be protecting somebody. You're not protecting yourself. You're not protecting yourself, but you are protecting someone. And it's some kind of a lover. So maybe you're trying not to reveal a secret about a third party if it's you. And it may be that you're not actually having an affair, but you know you want to be with this person and they want to be with you. And you're protecting your lover. Because here, defense is down, and then we have defenses up. It could be you were vulnerable before, and now that they're back, you're not really sure where to stand. What the? Oh, calendar. You're not really sure where to stand with this person, where you stand anymore. But you want to make sure you're in charge, and you are defending somebody. But maybe just being defensive to be stubborn, and you're protecting somebody. If you're not revealing some kind of a secret to somebody, you're trying to keep an illusion or create a distortion. It's because you don't want like an ex-husband or current husband to find out who this person is. You're protecting them. Some of you maybe you're trying to protect this happy version of your marriage. You're trying to keep up that illusion for others when really you just want to give up. Like I could see fantasizing about giving up and then doing it, like giving up on a marriage. And sometimes Two of Cups is a third party, but in this particular picture, you don't see it because there's no lion. Okay. But there is somebody that you're connected to. And I think that might be somebody you're defending. Yeah, okay. In your current situation, you could have you're lacking some courage. And then in your immediate future, you get some courage. And you stand up to somebody you're married to, or you stand up for your right to be with somebody who loves you and takes care of you. But with the Devil, I do see with Two of Cups, drinking. Okay. Maybe you fell off the bandwagon when it comes to drinking, but then you get back up and you start defending yourself against it. That's a possibility. But I see really about lovers here too. But something's domineering. It could be a domineering marriage, domineering boss. And with the Hierophant that we have here, and Two of Cups, I'm seeing don't be a slave to a dream lover. Like, don't be a slave, okay? Stand up for yourself. Okay, because usually on Two of Cups wasn't what first came out. It was actually Nine of Wands. But when I rearranged them as Two of Cups and I pull on either side, perhaps you stood up for yourself and then you fell off and you let your guard down and you went back into drinking. Or just rearranging everything here. You weren't defending yourself from this relationship, and then you stand up for yourself. And Seven of Wands to me is being a teacher in education. So for those of you who graduated, you may feel like you're going to persevere, but not really because you care, just to be stubborn, to be a teacher, and you want to be a teacher, and you want to be heard, and you might actually join with somebody that this is your ultimate goal. You want to join. Also, because these are people in your situation or in your environment, somebody might be married and you're really debating whether or not you should do anything about it or not. I see like really strongly held beliefs. Could be about spirituality, and then whether or not you stand for them or give up, whether or not you should stay in the relationship or whether or not you should leave. I definitely do see that as well. So there's some choices, or a choice really. It looks like with the Fool reversed, you're not making it right now. You're hesitating, which to me looks good because there is something else going on that you're making sure that any illusions are being removed or revealed before you make a decision. And you feel like your lover or your husband or whoever it might be is not protecting you, and you're having to stand up for yourself. And also with Nine of Wands reversed, this relationship is unsalvageable. So if you're being stubborn about it, it's just to be stubborn. There's really no hope of saving it. But you should relax about being fearful. And if you feel like you're stressed or overburdened, get out, get some exercise. Because I can see that here, especially with the Eight of Pentacles over here. And just so you know, you have the Eight of Cups in your hopes and fears in a minute I'm going to get to. But with the Nine of Wands reversed, You may no longer protect a dream you have about a secret love or your life, a secret life. Okay. So you may very well be the one that's having the affair with somebody from the past. And it's a very emotional affair, and I could see that there's a soulmate in here. Who it is, that's up to you. Well, honestly, current doesn't look good to me. Past looks good. But there's always somebody in the past that's not good for you. That's just how it works because they're in the past. But if somebody from the past comes back, just be that moon, in the Seven of Pentacles, wait, assess it, see what's going on, assess your whole life, and then you can have the courage to take a step that you need to take. All right, now in your fears, hopes and fears, we have Two of Cups reversed. Some of you, your fear might be that you get out of a union or a marriage, or that might be your hope, because Devil reversed, Fool reversed, Eight of Swords, okay, wanting to get out because you feel trapped. But I see, again, drinking. You're afraid you're going to fall off the bandwagon. With Eight of Cups, which comes next, you're seeking your soulmate. But you may be afraid of this union because that's like a fear of success and also a fear of failure as well. There's a lack of respect in this marriage. You're afraid it's going to end. And if there's a marriage going on, I see it ending. Because there's no harmony. Somebody is dominating. And you're getting away from the devil. You're getting away from some kind of an addiction. It's also some kind of an obsession. But things are still positive for you. This is just saying forgive and forget. Start fresh. Okay, because it could be that you haven't started fresh yet. You're still holding on to it. Just be positive. Remember, don't be a slave to somebody. Be that independent person that the Queen of Wands says you are. Okay, Eight of Cups. You've emotionally checked out of a relationship. Okay, and you're seeking true love. So, this is preceded by Seven of Cups, which is temptation, lots of options. Okay, and it's not in your reading. And then you get to Eight of Cups. And whatever you've come to in Eight of Cups, the relationship, whatever it might be, I think this is about love for most of you. It's not emotionally satisfying. There's that cup that's missing, that ninth cup. And that's what you're seeking. So you get out of a toxic relationship, toxic something, to find that ninth cup, to get your wishes fulfilled. And this is what you're doing in the interim. Eight of Cups, you're leaving. For those of you who are a teacher or you're traveling, perhaps you were so bogged down by something you weren't able to see the world. Perhaps you're a teacher and so you're so busy that you weren't able to see the world, and you check out, you leave a position perhaps that was just overwhelming to you, and you go see the world. Okay. Some of you feel like you were at a bad teaching job, and so you leave and you find a teaching job that you wanted. Or if some of you have graduated to become a teacher or an educator, professor, even a spiritual leader, and it wasn't everything it was cracked up to be, and so you leave. And this is a hard leaving because you had so much invested. It's a very emotional time because your heart's no longer in it, but you had so much in it. And you're almost like, I should stick it out just because so much has been done. That would be the Nine of Wands reversed. But Nine of Wands reversed is saying it's unsalvageable. So you do need to move on. And sometimes this says, when you do find that ninth cup, because you have it here, you will be complete. You can come back. Because sometimes when you get the Nine of Cup, you get to come back. Like that's saying, I'm happy, I'm joyous, I found ninth cup, here I come. Okay. This is like soul searching that you're doing, trying to find true love, somebody who cares about you. You're having to reject someone or you're being rejected. Okay, so if you're not the Eight of Cups person, then check with your partner. Okay. But you have a direction. You know what you want. You're just going to kind of have to wait it out, feel how you're going to do this. I also see you're wanting to belong to a community. So for those of you in education, for those of you who've graduated, you're wanting to belong to like a family of some sort, especially with the Three of Cups around here and the union, the Two of Cups. You really want to belong to somebody. You really want your soulmate. You want to feel whole and complete. And I definitely see that with the Three of Cups. And it looks like you're going to get the solution to your problem. And with the Hierophant, you're seeking a marriage, you're seeking a spiritual community, or just a community in general. It could be, Hierophant is like the institution of education as well. So I could see seeking a college where you belong, or seeking a school as a teacher where you belong. And you may be creating emotional distance, so it's easier for you to leave. I do see here lost love, so perhaps you had to leave a relationship, and that's your fear, but it's also your hope. So this can be a hopeful card, it's just you have to kind of work it out. And some of you may have missed the opportunity with somebody because you were married, okay, to be with somebody else, and so you're going to find them, perhaps, because you missed the opportunity. You had a lost love. Seven of Pentacles can talk about unrequited love as well. But yeah, you just need to move away from some disappointment. You need to go out and seek some answers. And this says that the parting that you're doing is going to be at the right time, okay? Clarifying that, Three of Swords. So there was some kind of infidelity going on, some kind of emotional turmoil where you just said, you know what, I don't care anymore, I'm checking out and I'm leaving. Because, you were an unfaithful bastard, whatever it might be. And you've been an on and off again relationship that you're leaving. You're just putting it into it, which is good. Because you and your partner were just incompatible. There was a lot of, I can see abuse, perhaps. But just so you know, since we have the Hierophant in this card, failed marriage. So I see just a marriage that's not working out at all. It could be just, for the education people, it could be a school, some kind of contract that's not working out, okay? And you have somebody else I see. Oh, dear. Okay, I didn't see that till just now, because I don't really see it that often. So I'll put it in the comments for those who miss it otherwise. Oh, okay. This Eight of Cups, emotional withdrawal, like the end of a union. You guys have lost a spouse, or just a loved one in general, but I'm seeing a spouse here. Ooh. I hate when I get these revelations at the very end. Because all this time I've been talking about something and somebody does not even watch the video. Because we have heartache and loss. And Three of Cups, Seven of Swords, with the Devil and Six of Cups. This is like saying to somebody, I'll meet you in the afterlife. Okay, and with the World in reverse, it could be like a sudden departure. Like they sneak away in the middle of the night. Well, this is somebody who like dies in the middle of the night. You weren't really expecting it. I don't see a car crash or anything like that. But World in reverse. So Four of Swords usually looks like somebody who's at a wake, like they're dead. Okay, this could be just time to meditation and somebody's life was literally cut off, and so it's an end of a union. And you're probably seeking some kind of spirituality, something to belong to, because you're in isolation because now you're one person instead of two. And it's this unhealthy, toxic environment of losing a loved one that you're dealing with. And you're wanting to return to a time when they were still alive. And you're having to say, I'll meet you on the other side. Because we have the World in reverse. And then we had, the Moon in reverse. Okay. And with Three of Swords, this tells me you've lost a loved one. Like, this tells me about, like, death, lost a loved one. And it looks like you're having to be very strong, very patient. You're having to wait for something monetarily, could be a will. And you're having to be really strong. But you're trapped by this. You're still thinking about your marriage. And some of you maybe contemplating suicide, and so this is like putting your defenses down, not even caring, or staying because of this union. But it looks like you're just going to say, I'll see you on the other side. Not soon, okay? Just, I will. And so that's why I can see that. And you haven't recovered yet. And you'd be going out, Eight of Cups, seeking that recovery from being separated. There's a lot in here. But again, this could be a love triangle. Hierophant usually talks about a failed marriage, but it could just be the end of a marriage because of that, because of death. And with the Fool, it talks about living with mental people, like somebody who has some disorders. And we do have the Moon here, so it could be somebody who literally has some kind of a disorder, like a sociopathic disorder. And so it's unhealthy for you. You didn't realize this until after you got into the union. But with the Fool in reverse, this tells me you're going to get away from or no longer live with a person with a mental disorder. See, that was in your hopes and fears, so I was wondering. That's just something I saw that it happened to be in the hopes and fears. But let's talk about it as the hopes and fears. Fearing leaving a relationship, a failed marriage, okay? Hope is, that could also be your hope. Your hope is that you get away, or your fear is that they want to leave, okay? And fear is third party, as well as your hope could be there's a third party, there's somebody else for you, possibly somebody from the past. Okay, in your outcome, just move all these to the side. We have Queen of Pentacles reversed. This is somebody who's very bitter. Also, I usually say this is Queen of Swords, but it could be for Queen of Pentacles for some people. Just somebody who's lost a spouse. And so they're just kind of being a bitch. But here, this is somebody who lost something valuable. This is having not assessed shrewdly previously. So in your outcome, you end up as the person who didn't do the investigation like Seven of Pentacles had hoped you would. And because of it, you're losing something valuable, also becoming single. And now, with all these illusions that had happened, third parties involved, you may have been married to somebody who was an alcoholic or into drugs, and they had pulled the wool over your eyes and you weren't really sure. And that just completely spoiled your marriage. And so it may not be another party that they're cheating on you with, it would be some kind of an addiction. And so you're leaving. Like, this is not what I signed up for. And so you became, at the end, you become a very suspicious person. You're successful, but you can't really relax. And for those of you who are leaving a position, like an education, and you're looking for another one, like the Eight of Cups would suggest, you find it, but you become a workaholic, okay? Or you're going to get a boss that makes you into a workaholic, or your boss happens to be a workaholic. Or you're just kind of held in suspense in the interim as your outcome. Now, I did clarify the outcome, okay? Could be you get divorced and then you marry somebody for money. Because we do have 4 of Wands, so it's marriage. You may say, well, since I can't have love because my spouse has died, I'm just going to marry for money. Or perhaps you have a spouse that died who happened to be wealthy and you're kind of waiting on an inheritance. But I see like actions happening, this outcome is happening due to some carelessness. Also due to somebody who's tricky. And this could have been caught if somebody had assessed more. But overall, just being mistrustful. And you may have wealth in life, but for those of you who lost someone, you're not able to enjoy your wealth in life because of the way you got your wealth, okay? This is joining a happy organization, which is what you are seeking with the Eight of Cups, okay? And the Hierophant, okay? And 3 of Cups. And you got it, okay? As your outcome. If we put these together, because it is clarifying, it may be that you lose a marriage, you lose a happy organization, you have to leave one in search of one. This could also be like a divorce, just a spouse having died. Okay. Also, just you get stability, but you're going to have to work really hard. And then we have Ace of Pentacles. This is being on the right path. Also, if you notice, she's holding the Ace of Pentacles. So it could be you lose the Ace of Pentacles, which is a marriage or a happy organization, something that's stable. But I see prosperity begins. So I see that you work really, really hard, but you can't really relax and enjoy your benefits, possibly because of a new union that you've joined, like a marriage or a school, and your prosperity begins, but it's just a lot of hard work. And then for those of you, you've lost that. But let's get some action steps for you guys. Okay, what can Virgos do to have a good outcome for 17. What action step could Virgos do to have a good outcome for 17? Okay, Page of Swords reversed. Okay, this is somebody who's investigating. This is also somebody when they communicate, they're communicating with integrity and honestly. They're not being sarcastic. It could also be investigating to see if somebody has their integrity. Okay. I want to clarify that too because I want to just make sure it's in reverse. So it's usually the more evil side of investigations. It could be, you know, a boss is watching with the intent to harm, but that's not really an action step. And I don't usually see this as an action step. Six of Wands. That's a promotion or victory, but that could be short-lived or it could be for just a few of you because Six of Wands to me has some negative connotations. It's about being tricked, being somebody's scapegoat, being trapped. Like you think you might have won, you've got your laurels, you rest on your laurels thinking that you have won, and you go to put your laurel up like a trophy, and somebody has made a plan that you don't know about and they're leading you right into it. Okay. And it could be based on some information that was taken or revealed. You could have given some information away. And I remember earlier we talked about trying to defend a secret love or a secret life. So this could be that it comes out. Now, to integrate some of these together, if you've lost a loved one, it could be that you find out that they had a secret life. Okay, and they were possibly married to more than one person, including you. And that could be a secret that's revealed. Okay, and this could be just the double life, somebody having two faces. I mean, when I say Six of Wands, I rarely see it as positive anymore. But for a few of you who are moving on and getting a new job, it could be like a promotion. It turns out better, and you're leaving this behind. Let's clarify the Six of Wands. That way we can say what it might be. That's an action step, and so I'm wondering if it just means to do some investigating to see who's on the up and up, or just make sure you're acting with integrity because somebody will be watching you to see if you're on the up and up. Seven of Cups. Okay, choose wisely. Don't be tempted. Act with integrity. Don't get caught up in illusions. Don't get caught up in fantasy. Now, usually with Seven of Cups, you're supposed to pull for either side to see what might be tempting you or what you might be wanting. Remember, Seven of Cups leads to Eight of Cups, which leads to Nine. So this is you needing some soul searching. But it could also be a temptation. Like I usually see Seven of Cups and Seven of Swords together, which we have, which talks about cheating or just a temptation of some sort. I mean, this could be an addiction because look at all these things I want. Okay, 2 cards for Seven of Cups. But the advice here is choose wisely, okay? Ooh, I never get this card in. Oh, it's because I pulled them in reverse. Okay, let me turn this around. Okay. Alright, the Hangman. Sacrifice. This is prepare for all your options, because you might get a promotion. Prepare for all your love options, because you don't really know what's best for you, so you're going to have to prepare. You're going to have to do some research. Also, this is letting go, forgiveness. And then with the Four of Swords that we had in the Hangman, I see observing. You're going to see information that others don't see, that information that's held secret, or you don't want others to see that information. And, with Hangman being sacrifice, like saying, like, do what's the selfless thing to do, have some integrity. Could just be a change of heart. You could be holding to conflicting beliefs and you're not really sure what to do, what to choose. You're hung up on somebody. Or you're waiting for an opportunity. I can see that. You're waiting for some kind of a promotion. It looks like somebody's like really stalking you, or you're really stalking somebody else. I could see an internet stalker with the Seven of Cups and Page of Swords reversed. And they could just be like hanging out and waiting for the opportunity to trumpet your information. Or you could be doing that for somebody else. Let's see what else is here. Five of Swords. Conflict and defeat. To me, there's like some violence here. Or just ill intent. I could see like a workplace bully. And somebody with the Hangman, that's somebody who's working behind the scenes to manipulate things. Somebody be tempting you with lots of offers just to lead you into a trap. So don't fall for a trap. Don't give away information. Don't give away information about secret love, nothing. Don't give information away that you're looking for another job, because it could end in defeat. You need to forgive this bully or this conflict that you've had with somebody. And it could be like related to the Three of Swords and why you're trying to leave with Eight of Cups. But you have to accept a defeat. Whatever defeat have come, because sometimes I don't pull these cards in reverse. So Six of Wands in reverse could be a defeat based on the information that comes out, and you don't really know what to do. And so you're kind of at this crossroads, and this is accepted defeat that's happened. This also could just be a betrayal. Somebody betrays information, and they trumpet it, and you feel like you've been sacrificed in this betrayal. And somebody have sacrificed it, kind of like a Judas. I can see a Judas here with, for something they want, they sacrifice somebody in an arrogant way, leads them to me, the Six of Wands is leading to the Eight of Swords. It leads somebody to be imprisoned or trapped, and it's very sneaky. This is a sneak attack too. Why are these your action steps? I see forgiveness. You could be forgiving somebody for this, but also just watch out for this, okay? Let me just be a warning. As your action step, just be aware of this. Because we did have like the moon and all that kind of illusions. So be aware of a backstabbing person, okay? Okay, one card. And maybe what you should do to get a good outcome is just be aware of somebody who's sneaky. And let go and forgive. And some of you have a divine call. Like this could be your calling, okay? You have a divine call, like being a missionary like we talked about. Also, with the Hangman, again, be passive. Understand your limitations. I also see being in solitude. It could be about two conflicting beliefs, but this could just be accepting your fate. So accept a defeat, accept your defeat, accept your fate. And just pause, be willing to listen, and have some, where did it go? Have some self-control, have some patience. You have these cards together. And do everything with tact. You remember, keep your integrity. Okay. All right, last card. Eight of Pentacles. Okay, I was wondering when this is going to come up. When I was flipping through, it kind of opened up a little bit. Eight of Pentacles is, working really hard, being an apprentice, also going back to school, or, moving on to a different school perhaps, because we have positive movement forward. So you're going to move on, you're going to forgive, let go, okay? And you're moving on to another commitment. You're moving on to a lover who will stay by your side. You're moving on to somebody who's interested in you, to somebody who has a future with you. And you're moving on from any kind of deprivation you felt from the Three of Swords, from the Queen of Pentacles, from Three of Cups even. And it could be when you're being deprived of something that you're addicted to. You're going through that hurting phase, but you're getting back to being sober again, possibly. And this is just helping yourself, okay? Somebody else, I don't see anybody coming in to help you other than like a Scorpio rescue you from a dangerous situation. But mostly you're going to have to help yourself. So work hard, because you will be fruitful. Actually, I see when you work hard, I see you getting the Ace of Pentacles. That wasn't your outcome. It may be you need to make sure you don't become a workaholic, okay? Because this could be working so hard that like you work long hours. You're in there like day and night where it's always dark, so you never see the sun. And you're getting out of that, getting out of working hard, being an alcoholic, and you're going to go out to where you're always in the sun, which means you won't be working long hours. So we're needing to turn this around for your outcome. And it could be that you're joining something new where you're not going to have to do that. You just have to move on from this. But this is a moving on card, and it's all for your benefit, as well as some of you be going back to school, get a new skill, because if something wasn't what it cracked up to be as far as what your major was, then you're going back to school to get something else. All right. Just see if there's something else. I don't feel like there was. Oh, that's kind of funny. The devil did come out right over here, but I never read these cards in reverse. Let's do one more card for the education people. So long reading. All right, education people. What are you doing, or what are you needing to do, education people? Okay, 9 of Wands upright. So stand your ground, never give up. Okay, that doesn't mean you have to stay where you are. It just means whatever you're believing, do it. This could also be spiritually. Okay, so maintain your strength, be strong, like the Strength Leo card would say, and also protect your loved ones. Protect, keep the intellectual high ground. Have courage. Be resilient. Be ready to fight, and also just for anybody here in this reading, be a little suspicious of other people, okay? Because once bitten, twice shy. Okay, for infidelity people, whether they're unfaithful or somebody else is, what's an action step? What should they do? The devil. Temptation. So if you look, it looks like he's trying to put it away, so put away temptation. For some of you, for the people who are unfaithful, perhaps put away temptation, or put away the person who's unfaithful. And then for some of you, maybe you should give in temptation as far as a lover that you have an affinity towards, as long as they're not an abuser, okay? Because your overall was getting out away from one, so don't go back into one. Okay, what should people who have like alcohol and drug addictions, what should they be doing for May? Truth. Judgment. Okay. So trying to bring something back to life. This could also be for the people who lost a spouse. This is just accepting the afterlife. Okay. This could be use your judgment when it comes to the addictions. Because the truth will come out, okay? People are going to realize what's happening as soon as it starts happening. And this obsession that you've had, and for those of you who it's about love, this obsession you've had for a long time with an old love, and for those of you who have an obsession with some kind of an addiction for a very, very long time, since like childhood almost, secrets are going to come out. So you need to be honest and work with integrity. Don't try to bring back something that has died, which would be like the alcoholism, the addiction, whatever it is. Don't try to bring it back to life. Like, let it have its judgment and let it move on, okay? To the afterlife, I mean, And this could be like the final cleansing of anything toxic. This could be for everybody, but for those who have an addiction, final cleansing. Let this be it. Also, this talks about going cold turkey, and it will be easy for you. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking. So I pulled this card with something else previously. I believe it said addictions, you can go cold turkey. And that will be the end. That will be the final time you have to do it. Also, just use your best judgment, okay? Information comes to light. That's for all of you. All right, for somebody who lost a spouse, what messages do they need, or what should they do? Mental conflict, being of two minds. This could be, remember with debating, we talked about that, but in yours it was possibly joining your partner early or prematurely. Okay, when I get Two of Swords, I pull two more cards. I don't want to pull from the same deck. I don't really like doing that. So what? I need 2 cards for those who've lost a spouse. For each side, for each sword. And I see you're like trying to blind yourself. You're trying not even to think about it. You don't want to believe it's true. Oh, okay. Depression. Maybe feeling guilt or shame. Just you're in a waking nightmare. Okay. Okay. A defeat. Like something, some plan isn't working. Or, okay, like a failed strategy, you could have attempted at some point and it's going to fail. So, or you should just drop the plan. Like say, I'm giving it up. Okay, what's an action step? Page of Cups reversed. Sorry, my cat just hissed in his sleep. Okay, and I have a new kitten who's 7 weeks old, and he's very on edge right now because of it. I think he's dreaming about the kitten. Okay, but Page of Cups. This is saying, oh, okay. This is saying don't be selfish. Okay, so if you are somebody who's lost a spouse and you're just contemplating suicide, 1, it looks like it's not going to work. And 2, it's saying don't be selfish and do that. Because it looks like there's other people who would care about you. For those who aren't contemplating suicide, those who just lost a loved one, what should they do? Okay, can't do all those. That'd be the whole, all decks that I have here. Okay. This is not accepting a death. And again, contemplating death, this is telling you, for those who are still thinking about it, don't contemplate death, don't even think about it. But you're longing for the past. You're longing for when they were there, okay? And instead of integrating this into yourself and moving on, you're just ignoring it, okay? It looks like there's no action step. It looks more like a message that could lead you to an action step. And here, this is trying to ignore it and not integrate it. This is not wanting to believe the truth and just being very depressed. You have to accept that this is the end of an era. This was the end of somebody's life. And you're going to have to move on, okay? Maybe not right away, okay? But eventually. But a radical change is needed, okay? With that moon card we had. You need something that's going to just get you out of this funk, this depression. And I think your emotional hunger that you have, it's going to drive a transformation. And that's going to be your final great change. We also do have judgment in here too. And then for everybody in this whole reading, not just for who lost a spouse, this is the end of the abuse. This is the end of the bad habit. This is the end of the addiction. And you're going to have that final cleansing and you're going to move on. Okay, and then for those of you who lost a spouse, you're moving on. Or you will be at some point. And for anybody who's fallen off the bandwagon, you fell off, but then you're going to get right back on. Okay? And you have to end this idea of going back to what happened before. You have to end this idea of reliving a trauma. Like you have to break ties. It's almost like you've built a friendship with that idea. Like with the 2 of Cups. Like you've built a union with this trauma and you have to cut it. You have to end it. And with 9 of Wands in here, you have to end the struggle. You have to end the stagnation. And this is not ending it by taking your life, okay? This is ending it and moving on forward away from something that has you depressed. Overall, 4 of Wands again, okay? So you are going to be joining, seeking some kind of a community that's happy. This is for everybody. It could be marriage, could be a new job. This is some kind of like contract. You could be joining a church. And perhaps, for those of you who have lost a spouse, you really wanted to join a church just so you can be with people. So you're no longer like the only one left, okay? And so you're looking to be with people. It could even be with family. So these are some action steps you can take, guys, okay? That was your reading for teen. Let me know how it resonates for you. Sorry it was so long. All right, bye, you guys.